Welcome to Curse Breakers, where we blend astrology with magic to help you break through those personal blocks and reclaim your power. I'm Jacki Smith, and I'm here with my co-host and chief astrologer, Storm Sestavani. And this show is sponsored by Coventry Creations, where they have magical solutions for your everyday issues. Hey, Storm.
Hey.
This week we have a transition of the sun into a new sign. What do you think?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We're going to move out of Libra season, which we have been in since September, and we're going to move into Scorpio season.
And that is on Wednesday?
No, it's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. Got it. I had it mixed up in my head. Okay. You know what? I don't know what day it is.
I'm the astrologer.
Yeah. I don't know what day it is. I woke up this morning and I woke up a little late and I'm like, I can sleep in. There's nothing going on. The radio show. I gotta get up.
And I was at a retreat yesterday and I have to read all those documents.
Yeah. Yeah. And hey, the retreat was great. I love all the people. Here's what's fascinating. Can I just before we start this astrology,
Sure.
Can I just talk about how it is intriguing and maybe a little annoying how these dudes, and I'm saying dudes, these corporate dudes, are so excited to bring spiritual principles into their coaching, into their presentations.
These are all coaches that you were meeting with?
Well, it was one guy who was presenting, and he's a coach. He helps scale businesses, very successful at it. He has got a lot of creds behind him. So it was great to listen to him. And there's always gems whenever I go. If I go to something, if I don't find a gem of information, that's my fault. So,
Right.
So lots of great little gems. And here's the thing is that at points I'm like, yeah, I know about meditation. Yeah, I know. I know about setting intentions and manifesting because that's my jam. And I say it with lots of love and support. And so it's really intriguing to me that this is norm and it's growing. I mean, this guy has like, he worked for, what is it? Hewlett Packard, like when in Hewlett Packard's heyday IBM. Because, they get interchanged in my head.
I think I was getting visions of Carly Fiorino there for a minute. So,
and he's not young. He's done big, big things, helped really giant companies. So that's really cool to be with somebody who thinks that big, to get myself thinking big. And then here's this guy and he's talking about all these different things to help, you can't manifest these things if you don't have, blah. And I'm like, here's my thought as I'm listening to him. I'm like, witches were the first entrepreneurs. I mean, I know they talk about prostitutes were the first entrepreneurs, but if you think about it, witches were right along with them because they were entrepreneurs because they, did all the things. No comment. No comment on that.
I think that the three oldest professions all start with a P. Okay. It is prostitutes, prognosticators, and politicians. It's the three Ps.
Yes. But witches were the original entrepreneurs.
Okay.
I mean, because if you think about, I have so many thoughts on this. That could be a whole show. But that was my epiphany yesterday that the old is becoming new again. And I was intrigued by the balance that businesses are striving for in their contribution to the world and their values that they bring to the world. So that heartens me to hear that.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, back to astrology. So let's talk about this week coming up. We have the October 21st through the 28th.
Yeah.
So close to Halloween. What are we going to do for a Halloween show? Not now. We'll talk about that later.
The chart for Samhain. I don't know. The interesting thing about this week, Jacki, is, of course, the VIP is the sun. And I love weeks in which the VIP is the sun because, and VIP meaning very important planet, is because the sun gives us the signposts of what needs to be fixed in our lives. So when the sun is dominant, it's kind of highlighting yellow highlight, of course, areas of our lives that need attention and things that happen throughout the week, even though that, if you start to look at things in more of an introspective sort of way, and you start to note, and this is why I recommend journaling out to people, because a lot of times we don't think in a day-to-day basis because we're thinking about, oh, I've got to brush my teeth and I need to eat the bagel and I, need to go to work and I need to come home and I need to clean my house. We don't look at things in a very profound sort of way a lot, okay? So I recommend people journal for the purpose of even making down little notes of just small things that happen during the day. Because oftentimes what it will do is that when you look back on the week in a reflective sort of way, sometimes what will happen is that you'll get signposts in regards to areas of your life that need a little bit of attention.
Okay. I'm listening. I like
And
this.
then you can use magic, you can use affirmations, you can use whatever to begin to start to change or focus on what it is that you need to focus on. And it may be something as simple as, I didn't pay my credit card bill on time. I paid it a day late. And it may be a sign from the universe that you need to pay more attention to your finances. It can be something as simple as that. And I don't think that we pay enough attention to those little small things.
I like that you said that, because it doesn't mean that the world is falling down. It doesn't mean that you're being punished in any way. It's a sign that you need to pay more attention. So, my sister is selling her house, and now that she's got it on the market, suddenly all these
You have
things
93 sisters. Be more specific.
The eldest.
Okay.
And who's not old, just the eldest. A lot of things have been breaking in her house, like the dishwasher, the refrigerator, the furnace. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm meditating on it, and I'm getting, what's going on is what's going on. And so she's worried that maybe she shouldn't sell the house, blah, blah, blah. And I think what you said is so important. When all these things start happening, it doesn't necessarily mean that the world is falling down or you have to massively change your plans. It just means pay attention. Have someone come in and inspect everything so you're not surprised again.
And it may be actually the sign that she needs to sell the house.
Right. That's a
flip. To fix what needs to be fixed and sell it, because, maybe at this particular point in your life, you don't want to be focused on all of these fixes.
I love that you said that, because sometimes that's really what it is. It's, if the thing is so hard, it doesn't mean that there's a lot of spiritual stuff going on. It just means, sometimes it means that I don't want to do this anymore.
Right. A lot of times it will do that. I remember, when I decided to sell my own house, Jacki, and get a condo that, it was the winter before that. We dealt with I believe it was like 10 days of negative 25 degrees temperatures. And you remember people's pipes were freezing up. Mine did not, thank God. But people's pipes were freezing up. And you remember, Jacki, I was getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure that the pipes were okay. And
hitting it with the hairdryer. Yeah.
Yeah. And that the house was warm enough. And it was so stressful for me that I sat down and I reflected and I said, what is this a sign of? And that we were in the middle of COVID, so there was no repair people available. I mean, it was just the craziest freaking thing. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting a condo. I'm too old for this.
It was smart. It was, man, and I know you love your condo. It's just easy for
you. Definitely.
So let's dive into
Monday.
This week, Monday.
So Monday is interesting because the moon is in Gemini, which is where we left off on Sunday, and it squares Neptune. Now, the moon in square to Neptune is not the greatest type of energy. It's don't believe everything that your lion eyes are telling you and listen and be more suspicious about what you hear. Okay. A lot of times we can get very lost in like daydreams and wishful thinking and magical thinking. Oftentimes we will push things off in our head. Oh, I will deal with this next week, which never comes, by the way.
That's a tomorrow problem.
This is a good time to be creative, but basically just kind of check, all those wonderful ideas that you have the next day to see whether or not that they're realistic, of whether or not that you should, your oil light in your car has gone off and whether or not you should do it next month.
So really don't make decisions today.
I wouldn't make any major decisions, but it's easy to get caught in rabbit holes when the moon is in square to Neptune. And even though that it only lasts for a few hours, something that lasts for a few hours can have large ramifications.
Right. But you feel, like something like this, I feel the vibe of it all day, if not a couple of
Right.
days. So Moon in Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
squaring Neptune and Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing reeks of getting stuck in a story. Like somebody says something,
yeah.
and somebody says something that doesn't jive with you today. And you can get really stuck in that. Well, I really think they meant this, and I really think they meant this, and oh my God, I can't believe it. I thought they were my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get fired. What the hell's going on? This is a toxic place to work. Blah, 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 blah. So
Right.
I think
everywhere is a toxic place to work. Everywhere.
Everyone has their own definition
Yes.
of the toxicity. So that's what this says to me, that this is like a day, that rabbit hole of stories of like,
Absolutely.
Oh my God, my husband came home 15 minutes late. Where was he for those 15 minutes? That kind of thing it's not necessarily like emotional reactionaryism, but
and the things that we do to self-deceive ourselves, because Moon and
Mhm.
Scorpio Neptune can be very, very self-deceptive. And, we can believe things that are not necessarily true. It's very easy to get caught up in that. And like I said, even though that the transits of the moon usually only last for a couple of hours, Jackie,
Mhm.
in a couple of hours, I can do a lot of damage with my mind. I mean,
So how do we break this curse of self-deception here?
emotional balance.
And we happen to have an emotional balance candle at Coventry. The emotional balance candle, as much as you don't think it does, it grounds you and
Mm-hmm.
cuts through the emotional fog. And then what else can we do? What other magical things can we do?
Well, I think that you can use amethyst or clear quartz to enhance clarity and dispel confusion. And I think that that's the main thing. The obstacle for the day, I think, is the difficulty discerning between reality and fantasy. What is real and what is not real. And I think that people should spend a little bit of reflective time looking at their emotions, because the moon does govern emotions, and see whether or not that, what is going on is really viable for them, and whether or not that this is just something that they need to let go of. And I think that that's where that emotional balance candle comes in.
I love this, because if you take your amethyst or clear quartz and you put it with the candle, I mean, just like not necessarily on the candle, just around it, and let it burn for a little while, and focus on grounding yourself and cutting through emotional fog, releasing the confusion.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure what's going on here, or I'm stuck on this thing. Like literally doing a visualization of it, like coming off of you like fog, and then carry that amethyst or quartz with you all day.
Right.
I like this. This is
Right.
good stuff.
So I think people should invest in, during the pandemic, Jackie, when we had nothing to do but sit at home, I went crystal crazy. I bought thousands of dollars of crystals and became obsessed with them at that particular point. But I guess, I had nothing else to do, so except work. I mean, it was my escape. And that leads us, of course, into Tuesday, which is the biggest day of the week.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
make
dun,
the
dun.
noise. The cool thing about Tuesday is it's kind of a layered sort of day. Now, the sun is going to move into Scorpio on Tuesday evening. We'll talk a lot about that in a little bit. But Mercury in Scorpio first trine Saturn in Pisces, okay? And this is a great time, Jackie, to do your to-do list. If you got things that you need to organize and structure and get done, Tuesday morning's the time to do it. It is the point in which you can, plan things out, map out your future, look at things in a very practical sort of way.
Hey, that's our business meeting. That's our manager meeting every Tuesday morning. I like it. I'm in.
Definitely.
I'm going to make note.
Then, before the sun decides to move into Scorpio, it's first going to square Pluto. And I'm very curious about all these planets that are hitting Pluto, because Pluto is going to move back into Aquarius in December. I'm interested in all these planets hitting Pluto last, because I think it is telling us in many ways that a lot of things in our lives need to be transformed, because that's what, one of the things that Pluto represents. And Sun in square to Pluto is kind of like a cosmic boot camp. It's this really, power struggles. Yeah, you're going to have them. Okay. Intense emotions. Yep. They're going to be there. And you're really going to be kind of pushed to confront your hidden fears and take a hard look at the shadow side of your life. What you don't want anybody to see, all of your insecurities, all of your fears, all of your inhibitions. Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, they're all going to be kind of flooding to the surface.
Yee.
Yeah. And it is, for Tuesday, with Mercury in trine to Saturn, if you need help in regards to that organizational stuff, I think that the main thing with Mercury Saturn is oftentimes we can get very overwhelmed by intense focus on our responsibilities. And I think that stability helps with that a lot.
I love that. And that's the candle that we have in our Blessed Herbal candle line.
Right.
Actually, do you know that's one of my fave?
It's one of mine too. I love the smell of it.
And it's a secret to my success often.
And then with the Sun in square to Pluto, which is power struggles, emotional pressure, fears surfacing, and the needing to work through all of that stuff. It's time for us to kind of embrace shadow work, examine our fears, face our inner demons, set firm boundaries. Evil eye, girl, evil eye.
Oh yeah. I like that choice because it protects you against that not only that external negativity, but that internal negativity.
Exactly.
And you know what I like to put with the evil eye is
What's
black
that?
tourmaline.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
It's protective. It protects against other people's negative thoughts about you or intentions about you. And it also is very grounding during emotional intensity. So
Right.
you know how when you're really emotional, your limbic brain's going, "Ah!" and but that tourmaline grounds you regardless of that.
Right. It definitely does. So I definitely like tourmaline I have tourmaline everywhere. So, because I need to stay grounded a lot. We're going to come back to the sun moving into Scorpio. Wednesday, Jacki, the moon is in Cancer.
Okay.
And it is the moon in Cancer. I'm loving how that the astrology is actually going to fall this week because the moon in Cancer is really this very deep period in which, stay at home, do things to take care of yourself, take the bubble bath, do all of these kinds of things.
Can I just say that if you look at you're teaching me this because I look at the astrology, I look at the meanings of each day, and I watch a very difficult day or a series of difficult days being followed by a day of breath, by a day of self-care. So we have Mercury on Tuesday, Mercury in Scorpio, trining Saturn in Pisces, Sun squaring Pluto, and then the Sun moving into Scorpio. But then Wednesday, you got the moon in Cancer. And the Sun is fully embedded in Scorpio. Well, maybe not fully, but it's completed the first full day of the Sun in Scorpio this year. And so it allows that intensity of Tuesday to then be released in Wednesday. I just keep noticing that. So keep going. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Right. It's important because I think astrology is an instructive language. It tells us what to do. Okay. And it tells us how to work with the particular energies. And I think that a lot of the issue is that people, they just think the moon is going to be in Cancer. That means I'm going to be a little bit more emotional that day. Yes, that's true. It also says that this is a point in which you need to do self-care. You need to reconnect with your family. You need to focus on creating emotional security.
Right.
You need to focus on all of these little things as well. And especially after having a troubling day on Tuesday, especially with the Sun in square to Pluto and all those fears coming up, sometimes you just need a break. And astrology is saying, now's your break. Take a break.
This totally reminds me of the energy of moonstone. So having moonstone around you or wearing moonstone, which is beautiful. There's different kinds of moonstone, but wearing that today or putting it in your pocket today on Wednesday, October 23rd would be a nice way to manage that introspection and bring an emotional balance. And then what candles do you think that they could combine that with?
Happy home.
Oh, yeah.
Happy home.
That's moon and Cancer candle right there.
Right. That's a moon and Cancer candle. That's what I would kind of focus on is any form of a candle that encourages peace. And, happy home also has a little bit of a stability effect to it, I think.
Totally.
And it encourages nurturing, which I think is very important for that particular day.
Today's a great day to break the curse of emotional neglect and disconnection.
Right.
And the emotional neglect of yourself. Like today would be a great day not today, but October 23rd, Wednesday, October 23rd, would be a great day to put on the movie that makes you cry.
Right.
Just to release all that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I need that to cry because I have to be strong and focused, all that stuff, flexing my muscles. And so then when it's time for me to be vulnerable, I have to flex that muscle.
Right. And I also think that it's a day to be kind to yourself, to really focus on doing things that are good for you. And so we have our rest, Jacki, on Wednesday. It's the rest day. Okay.
I like it.
Build yourself back up. And then Thursday, it's zoom, 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 get up and go. Because Mars is going to sextile Uranus. And when there's kind of a very restless, impulsive feeling. And have you ever seen, Jacki, and this is what I kind of equate this combination to, when you spend that weekend and you're just laying at home and you're just kind of doing your things and you're Netflix and chilling, and then Monday comes along and you've had so much rest that you're just like jumping out of your skin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's going to feel like. And you're going to feel very impulsive, and it's going to be kind of like a jolt of energy, basically. And one of the things that I encourage people to do with Mars, because Mars is the action candle, or not only the action candle, but the action planet.
Action Jackson.
It's about trying new things and trying to be aware of being impulsive. Okay. No, you may not want to do skydiving if you've had no experience or you haven't gone to a trainer. You probably shouldn't do that. But, going out and doing something like rock climbing, or doing, taking a weird class at the gym that's a little bit out of your league, or doing something like martial arts, something impulsive like that will help to work through the particular energy. It's also great for breaking through problems because it often provides new solutions.
Oh, I like that. But I like all this stuff. Like how do you harness that impulsive energy,
right,
constructively? I love. Do you know that there's gyms that have climbing walls? It's scary and fascinating to me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it?
No, it terrifies me.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, I'm going to get 2 pulls up and go, but they have, it's very safe. You can put a harness on. There's cushions at the bottom of the whole thing. So the daring young man on the flying trapeze energy, getting that harness versus taking risks that could be really harmful in the long run. So I like how you're talking about harnessing that whole thing.
Well, it's important, and it's why, the candle that I recommended for this day is the success candle. And the reason that I chose the success candle is because I think that the success candle really helps to harness and direct that energy in a positive outcome.
I agree. You know what? And you know what the success candle always pairs perfectly with, like the best wine and cheese combo, is citrine.
Absolutely.
No. Excuse me, as I stutter. Not only does it kind of look like it color-wise, but they vibe very similar.
Right.
Have some fun with a success candle and a citrine. Check it with your pendulum and see how much they are similar in their energy.
And also, I like citrine, Jacki, because citrine is a stone that I kind of keep around me when I get up on one day, because this can happen also. You may wake up on Thursday and say, I don't even want to deal with this freaking day. But the universe is saying Mars is in sextile to Uranus. Okay. So citrine can also help amplify motivation. So it can help propel you towards participating in that energy.
100% agree. That is a great... When I wear citrine, sometimes if I wear it for too long, I need to take it off because I'm like, I got an idea and we're going to do this. I'm like, slow down, chick. But I love that this day kind of breaks that curse of fear-driven stagnation.
Right. It does.
And it's so interesting that we're talking about this now, because I was just journaling this morning about how I know my forward path. I feel it. I feel it in my bones, my intuition. All of my guides are saying, absolutely, this is the way to go. And then I look at it and I go, what? No, I know this is possible. I know that this is going to work out, but am I able to work it out? Is it my
Absolutely.
effort? So that fear-driven stagnation is a real thing. I literally journaled about it this morning.
Definitely. And then that moves us into Friday, which the moon is in Leo. Time to be your own superstar. It's, your own PR campaign that day. And the theme is kind of on creative self-expression and confidence, Jackie, but don't get crazy.
And the crown of success candle is perfect for that because, girl, put your crown on. And that's exactly what this candle is about.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, one of the things that I think about the moon in Leo is that it's also about doing some things that are fun. And I think with that landing on a Friday, okay, and, many people having the weekend off, it's a great night to kind of do things that are a little bit enjoyable, doing things that you care about, that you like to do with your friends or other people so that you can be a superstar and everybody can see you.
You know what I love about this too is it kind of, if you work on breaking the curse of fear-driven stagnation on Thursday, Friday follows it up with igniting self-belief.
Right. Absolutely.
Leo believes in itself.
Right. And, the stone that I think that is great for Leo energy all the time is sunstone. I mean, that's just an obvious.
Amen. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can just, the sunstone, you just pick it up and it's like, oh, yeah.
Because it gives so much confidence and it helps you shine. I also recommend people do use sunstone. It's not something that's obvious, but in regards to glamour magic, one of the things that I tell people to do when they get like new products from Sephora or something, okay, is that kind of let them sit for a day before you start using them with sunstone, because it helps kind of infuse that radiance into the products.
This is a great little magic thing.
I'm all about glamour magic.
So what's happening Saturday?
Saturday, the moon is going to move into Virgo. Just Marie Kondo your life.
Yeah.
Marie Kondo your life. Try not to be overly critical.
Well, it's in the moon's in Virgo on Sunday as well, right?
Yeah. So it's Saturday and Sunday. Clean your house,
I'm putting it on my calendar because I have piles and piles of things that need bins and organization and labels, and it's so much. So I'm going to leave it for that, and I'm just going to own it.
Declutter, organize, establish healthy habits. I mean, just Virgo everything to death. Okay. And also, during that time, people need organization and structure, but try to avoid perfectionism, thinking that you have to do it perfect. Nothing's going to get done perfect, period, ever.
No, right. That is the Virgo's curse to undo for ourselves is just understand that disorganization is scattered energy. And so when you organize, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't all have to be put away. It doesn't all have to be in the perfect little bins. See those reels where they're like putting all this stuff in the fridge in the little bins? I
see some of these reels. I don't know how, but a lot of cleaning reels have ended up on my Facebook, Jackie. And I will see some crazy stuff. Okay, I'm a germaphobe. Okay. So all of these little cleaning things with these products. Now, these people get crazy, Jackie. They will put like, a big, huge squirt of Dawn with some Mr. Clean and all this other stuff. And I'm like, are you aware that you're breathing in all this chemical? And then put like soft scrub on top of it, and they like make up this huge, big, gigantic sudsy mess. And I'm like, do you know how long it's going to take you to clean up all that?
Oh yeah. By the way, I found a thing because we're talking about moon and Virgo, and it's a good day to clean and organize. I found a thing called pink stuff, and I just came across it and saw like their little commercial thing, and I'm like, okay, I'll try it. Holy crap, this stuff works.
What is it?
It's kind of like soft scrub.
They're not sponsored, by the way. They have not sponsored us.
They're not sponsored, but they
can.
They can sponsor. So this pink stuff. So my at my weekend place, there's this tiny little old stainless steel sink, and it's old and stained. And I'm like, I'm scrubbing it, and I'm like, this is not coming out. I got stainless steel cleaner that's not working. And then went, oh wait, I got the pink stuff. And I pulled it out and I just put a little on the sponge. Done, clean. I'm like, so.
And that's what it's called, pink stuff?
Pink stuff.
Okay.
Pink stuff. I mean, just Google it and you'll find lots of places to buy it. And then also we have hard water at our weekend place. And I mean, this is like, it's not a mansion here. Okay. This is just get away, hide from the world. And the hard water makes the thing in the bathroom just orange. So it takes out the hard water stains. agates.
My cat has decided that he agrees with you, so I'll probably have to purchase them because he's howling in the background now.
And you know what? Not that they're sponsoring us or anything, but I just, since we're talking about this, it was a perfect
They
segue.
can, though. They can
They
sponsor
can
us.
sponsor us.
Pink stuff, if you're hearing this, you can sponsor us. The candle that I recommended, Jackie, for the moon in Virgo is the Do You candle from the Astro Magic line.
Because focus on self-care.
Personal goals and self-care, yeah.
Yeah. And then so I love this theme we have going on where we're talking about stones because I love crystals, stones. They have a big place in my life. So what stone do you think? I have my idea. What's your idea?
Green aventurine.
I like that.
I like green aventurine a lot, especially because of all of the, it has to do with prosperity. It has to do with good health. It has to do with follow through. All of the things that you need for that moon and Virgo stuff, I think is definitely there with green aventurine. So
I'm going to add another little thing.
Sure. Tell me.
After you use the green aventurine to complete your tasks, set up agates. Now, like there's some beautiful, like Botswana agate or whatever. They're so programmable. So if you're cleaning and organizing, kind of program those agates to keep a sane, focused, organized space. So your energy isn't scattered.
Absolutely.
I love those. So this is a great 2 days to spend time on you. Love it.
Now we can go back to the hard stuff. The sun is going to move into Scorpio.
And to me, Scorpio is like I'm losing my words. Scorpio, because it's so deep, because Scorpio is so deep. And all these words are coming up on Scorpio. Scorpio is a blessing disguised as a little bit of BS.
It is, but it's also all of the myth that I associate with the sign of Scorpio is the Medusa myth, of course. And the reason why I think that Scorpio is so important is that you have to think about what Medusa really represents. And she really represents us. And now stick with me on this. Okay, stick with me.
I'm hanging in. I'm holding on to the edge of the table.
She's the part of us that carries deep wounds. She's all those emotional scars we collect throughout our life. She's the bitterness we carry, the resentment that turns into our own worst enemies. She's the painful truths that we choose to avoid, the ones that fester and then multiply if they're unchecked.
Stop talking about me.
And she's the monster we become when our pain takes over and we get stuck.
Yeah. So
incapable of moving forward. Okay.
So that's the depth of Scorpio, which is why Halloween lands in Scorpio. That depth allows you to transform.
Right.
And that's why, it's spirits are so much closer because they're talking to you. And you get lots of guidance this time. Everyone wants a Halloween reading. And it's very mystical. So I love how this is a big time of transformation.
Absolutely. And that's the major thing about Scorpio season. It's taking a look at all of the things, because Scorpio also is associated with the 8th house in astrology, Jackie, which is all of the stuff that we have inherited psychologically from our family. So not only are we holding on to our own stuff, but oftentimes we're holding on to stuff that's not even our own. That may have been inherited, or, we did, in season 1 of Curse Breakers, we did a whole 3 episodes on breaking curses. And, when the sun is in Scorpio, that's when you break your curse. It's when you have the opportunity. Like I said, the sun brings attention to the areas of our lives that we need to change. So during Scorpio season, you begin, then look at the sign of Scorpio. What you're going to see is all of the things in your life. So when you're journaling that month, pay close attention to all of the things that are coming up. What are the themes that are attached to it? Is the thread that's weaving in between all of the stuff? Because that's what shows you the deeper level of the curse that you need to fix.
If there is one patch of 28 days that one would be very smart to journal during, it is during Scorpio season.
Right.
Because I find that for myself, my brain goes, so my emotions go. All the things that I have been worried about, I have been contemplating, things that happened in my childhood. and I'm not alone in this. When I say I'm talking about all y'all too. So this is what comes up during Scorpio season. So this is how you break through those old limitations. This is the gift. Like I said, the gift that looks a little bit like BS, because all
Right.
these things are going to come up for you, but what a gift to then bring them up and then transform them.
There's an interesting thing that happens, Jacki, because I think that there is something within the collective that urges us towards wholeness. And in the Medusa myth, when Perseus slays Medusa and he cuts off her neck by looking in a mirror, okay, a reflective shield. Now, I don't know about you, girl, but when I look in the mirror, that's all I see is me.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that's what I see is me. But the interesting thing is that when Perseus cuts off the head of Medusa, what comes out of it is Pegasus, who is this majestic, winged, beautiful flying creature. This is the sign of transformation at its most. So out of poison and pain and bitterness and anger and resentment and frustration, if worked with properly, if you can be self-reflective, if you can look in that mirror, if you can write in that journaling book, what will come out of it through the transformation process is something beautiful and something that's very usable and productive.
I see a ritual, like a 28-day long ritual for yourself, which is about journaling, about course candle magic, lighting your candle, and I would use the curse breaker candle, the sun.
That's what I recommend.
Yeah. And so journaling, taking the piece that's really hitting and triggering you, putting that on a different piece of paper, literally turning that piece of paper 180 degrees and writing across it how you want that transformation to happen. So what do you want it to transform? It not happen, but what do you want it to transform into? For instance, something comes up about a mother wound, memories from your childhood that are not amazing, that are hurtful. Right. You write that on one side on a piece of paper. You turn that paper 180, so the top is the bottom, and then you write across it, how do you actually want to feel about this, and how much space do you want it to take in your life? Then you take it to a very safe place, like outside. You use the candle flame to light it, burn it, put it in something safe, and then see how that releases from you. Just doing this over and over again every day. Just take 5 minutes, well, maybe 15 every day. Just let that thing, because burning something is an ultimate alchemical transformation process. And you can keep all those ashes as you burn and burn and burn, and then keep all those ashes. And then those you can bury, because those ashes can then feed something. So, or if you don't like the burning thing, what else can be transformed? I mean, there's other transformational processes. You can use a stick of incense every day, where you just hold that and speak it into that stick of incense, and then let that transform. But the candle burning every day, burning it a little bit every day, even if you have to get a second one for 28 days, that helps with that process as well.
I also think, the main point, Jacki, is that Scorpio season doesn't come to play. It comes to transform. Yeah. And what are you going to do to turn venom into victory?
Oh, that's good. What can kill can cure, what can cure can kill.
Right.
So there's a very close love-hate relationship with those things. So it is more powerful to turn that into a point of strength. So again, the other thing that makes me think about this, is that whole, when you heal a point of break, that actually becomes the strongest part.
Right. Because it's indestructible now. When last week we talked about authenticity, and I think that when you face the inner demons in yourself and you become more authentically you, that helps you to build something that is real and can sustain the test of time and can help you through all of the storms, no pun intended, that are about to come into your life.
I want to say something to the people who are working with something that's really painful right now. that you can listen to Storm and I, and we're looking retrospectively on healing we've done for ourselves. And it feels like, oh yeah, just heal it. But when you're on the other side of it, looking at approaching that healing, it feels huge, overwhelming. I don't even want to start it. It's just too much. I'm just going to stay in my uncomfortable comfort zone because this is what I know. And it's okay to feel that way. And it's okay to take a tiny nibble at the healing, just the tiniest little nibble at the healing. I'm going to feel okay for the next 10 minutes without chemically altering myself.
Right.
How do I do this without shopping or diving into reading? Or when I say chemically altering yourself, doing something that increases the dopamine, escapism type thing. And that, how do I find 3 minutes of feeling okay about myself? And then the next time it can be 10 minutes. And then the next time it can be 2 hours. And then, then I might feel great for a whole day. So it's okay to take a little nibble at it, just the tiniest little nibble.
Right. And, a lot of things, don't think that healing and change and transformation is going to happen overnight. Scorpio season lasts for 30 days for a reason.
Oh, it's 30, not 28. My bad.
That's a lunar cycle, not a solar cycle, girl. You all about that women stuff. The sun is male. The sun is a male planet. The moon is a female planet. But during Scorpio season, it's about working through all of that inner stuff and all of that inner garbage and all of that stuff. And it may take a few Scorpio seasons to go through all of it. And that's the thing. Be gentle with yourself. Transform. Make that be your focus. Turn your venom into your victory, but move from one point to the other. And don't put a time limit on how that needs to be. I think that when I was going through my dark side of the soul, Jackie, that there were so many people that wanted me to make changes in one day.
Fix yourself now. I got plans for you.
In one day. Okay. And it took me several years to get through all of the stuff that I was working through. But I did it my own way and in my own process and with the right support system that didn't push me. Yeah. And it happened.
There's one more thing I want to bring up. That dark night. If you look at it, you're going to have another one and then another one. And it's like the spiral kind of getting larger and larger. So you're going to come upon that similar pain, but it's going to be different and you're going to know how to deal with it. So it's going to be like another layer that you're going to deal with, but eventually it moves on. Do
you want to know my one-liner for that, Jackie?
What's that?
Are you ready for it?
New level, new devil?
No, there's nothing new under the sun because the moon's done it all.
There's nothing new under the sun because the moon has done it all. I'm going to take that one in.
Yes. I'm sure that's going to end up being a little meme.
So I want to tell you one more thing that I heard at my retreat yesterday.
Sure.
So there's a futurist who looks at how the world is going and changing, et cetera, and which I love listening to futurist stuff. It's so cool. It's like real sci-fi to me. So here's the thing that he said, and I want your astrological opinion, is that from 2020 to 2029 or 30, every year is going to bring about a different transformation. It's a decade of change and transformation. Now, he has different reasons to say this because of technological changes, which is going to change culture, so he just was like outlining for the next 10 years, we are going to be working really hard trying to emotionally, mentally, and physically catch up.
I'm going to change that, Jackie. I think we will be working on those issues until 2045. And the reason I'm going that far in advance is because Pluto is going to move into Aquarius. I have a whole blog post coming out on it. Jackie and I will probably talk about it at some point. We did talk about it a little during season 1 of Curse Breakers, but Pluto moving into Aquarius is a big deal, and it has to do with where we have been dealing specifically, Jackie, since 2008 with the corruption of governments and the corruption of companies and individual power figures and the corruption of celebrity. And with Pluto moving into Aquarius, which has to do more with the group, that what's going to come up to the surface is how have we as a group become corrupt? What needs to change? What needs to move in a new direction? And I think a lot of that is going to be changes in regards to technology, but also regulations in regards to technology that's going to come up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Things such as, is misinformation at this particular point something that we need to address as a collective? And is that okay? And, so I agree with him, but I'm going to stretch it out to 2045.
Okay. All right. Well, that was when I first heard that, I'm like,
because, in 2030, we're going to transform, Jackie. Every year is an opportunity for transformation. Make the most of it.
And then I thought, oh, cool. Okay. All right. So let me just dive into this energy and use it and make it mine versus resisting it. It's kind of like,
right.
I'm not going to try and swim upstream here. I'm going to ride with this, and I'm going to ride with these changes. And then when you stop being victimized by the planets and start using the energy.
Absolutely.
The curse breakers will help you stop being victimized by the planets.
Yes. And I think with Pluto and Aquarius, that one of the ways that we can help heal the collective, which is the group, is to first start and heal ourselves. How have we become corrupt? What in our lives is corrupt? Never. What is my corrupt thinking? All of that inward-based stuff.
I know. But when I just say never, it's because it's hard to believe that we could be the bad guy, the villain in our own story, which is a whole nother dark side thing.
Yeah,
which would be
a whole
great
nother episode.
Show. Yeah, look at us talking to us.
That's a whole other episode. This show, by the way, is sponsored by CoventryCreations.com. Make sure that you cruise over and check out all of the candles that are available there. If you have a problem in your life, no matter what that problem is, we definitely have a candle for that. So go check that out. Next week, Jackie, Mercury is the VIP. It's a very, very big week. Lots of energy. So we will be, we may go a little over 45 minutes. So,
hey, and if you were not able to take notes during this podcast, it's okay, because we have a calendar that you can subscribe to and have all of this information, the key points of each day, right in your calendar. So look at the show notes. Wherever you're listening to, there's a little link to subscribe to our calendar.
Also, give us a thumbs up and recommend us to all of your friends. We definitely would like to help them approach their week in a productive sort of way as well. Jackie, where can people find you?
You can find me at CoventryCreations.com. And then you can find us on all of the socials at Coventry Creations or Coventry Candles. That's the best way to reach out to me.
And you can find me at Storm Sestavani pretty much everywhere, because there's only one of me. And also, except for on Facebook. On Facebook, I'm facebook.com/Astro Gossip, because I like astrology and like to talk about it. What do they need to do until they see us next week, Jackie?
Keep it magic.
Speak life, everybody.